Good morning. Jim here from the swing. So glad again to just enjoy this beautiful, beautiful day. So today we're going to talk about, we were talking about Abraham and how he was getting old and Sarah now had passed away, and he wanted to make sure that Isaac got a bride from his seed, from the seed where he was called out, so he wouldn't be marrying a Canaanite or any other type of culture. He wanted to stay in his tribe, stay in his life, and that's a lesson for all of us, you know, that we stay with the likeness of the people we marry. One of the greatest decision we make is Christ, and the next biggest decision we make is a wife that we're going to live with and for the rest of our lives. And it's so important, and Abraham knew that, and he said to his servant Eliezer, and we talked about him yesterday, God with us, or God with us, or God is my help, excuse me, God is my help. And he said, now Eliezer, he said, I want you to understand that, shalt thou go into my country, to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me into the land. Must I needs bring thy son again into the land from which thou camest? Abraham said, beware that thou bring not my son thither again. And the Lord God of heaven, which took me from the father's house and from the land of my kindred, which spake unto me, and hath swear unto me, saying, unto thy seed will I give the land, unto thy seed will I give the land, and he shall send an angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this oath. Only bring thou my son again. So he said, they made an oath, and he said, I'm going to go, and he went. And so he went to the land. It's about 500 miles. Can you imagine that? 500 miles back to the place where Abraham was called from. And so he gets there, and he said, O Lord God, my master of Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day. Show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by this well of water. And the daughters of the men of the city came out to draw water. And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, and that I may drink. And she will say, drink, and I will give camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac, and thereby shall I know that thou hast showed kindness to my master. Well, the story is that sure enough, he was there, and Rebecca comes out, and he asked for a drink, and she willingly gave him drink, and then said, and watered his camels. Now, camels can drink a lot of water. I mean, just gallon upon gallon, not just one. And they said there was at least 10 camels there that she had, at least, that she watered. And it is amazing. And so he said, whose daughter art thou? And she told him, and the man bowed down his head and he worshiped the Lord. Can you imagine the relief that came upon his heart and his face? I remember so well when Diane came into my life. I'm telling you, a tribe of tribes, we had the same philosophy, the same life, and she and her mom came into this house and they played the piano and we sang. There was just something that came over me, and something came over us. This was just the beauty of God hearing and answering prayer, and for my life. And sure enough, from that moment on, the journey began. That was amazing, amazing. The journey that began because of the peace that came when God puts something together. When God hears and answers prayer. He bowed down and he began to worship. And I remember that same feeling. I said, blessed be the Lord God of Abraham, of whom left me not destitute, and my master, and his mercy and his truth. And then he says this, now get this, I, being in the way, the Lord led me. You see, God can't. He said, your sit-downs are not ordered of the Lord. It's the steps. The faith walk is a step walk. And you get in God's way. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And you get in Jesus, and in him you live and move and have your being. Being in the way, Jesus, the Lord can lead you and use you in a miracle for the Master. Whoa, that's just a little part of the call of Eliezer to go get a bride. And as he was in the way, teaches us a testimony that as we are in the way, who's Jesus, he can order our steps. Isn't that beautiful? See you tomorrow.